Just in time for the holiday weekend, kayak rentals return to Hazard. And a popular tourist stop in Kentucky is making some adjustments for this 4th of July celebration.
We'll see more sunshine and those hot temperatures continue as we head into the 4th of July weekend. I'll have a look at your forecast right now at 5:30.
Dedicated to southern and eastern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 5:30.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. The U.S. has set a new single-day record of coronavirus cases, more than 50,000 on Wednesday, and more than 2/3 of the states are showing increases. The alarming numbers are prompting governors in many states to impose new shutdowns to slow the spread. CBS's Chris Martinez has the latest from Los Angeles.
Coronavirus cases in Florida are skyrocketing. State health officials recorded more than 10,000 new infections over the past 24 hours. Vice President Mike Pence traveled to Tampa today.
We fully support the prudent steps that you are taking to slow the spread.
Despite the increase in cases, Florida's governor has not imposed a statewide mask order. But face coverings are mandatory in more than a dozen counties. People who fail to comply could face fines. California had more than 4,000 new coronavirus cases overnight. The governor has shut down indoor service at bars, restaurants, wineries, and movie theaters in 19 counties, covering about 70% of California's 40 million residents.
We're going broke. That's it. We're going broke.
Here in Los Angeles County, the governor ordered all state beaches and parking lots to close over the holiday weekend. He's also asked all cities to cancel their fireworks shows. In Arizona, public health officials say nearly 90% of hospital ICU beds are filled as infections continue to rise. Coronavirus cases in Texas soared past 8,000 on Wednesday, the largest single-day increase.
We are really overwhelmed right now in the emergency department. It's very busy right now.
The Houston Chronicle used its entire front page to urge people to stay home 4th of July weekend, and just in time for the holiday, amusement parks and many casinos in Atlantic City, New Jersey reopened today.
Remember that face coverings are required before you step foot inside.
But gamblers aren't allowed to eat, drink, or smoke and must undergo a temperature check. Chris Martinez, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Governor Andy Beshear provided updated numbers on COVID-19 in Kentucky about an hour ago. The governor announced 239 new cases today. Kentucky now has at least 16,079 COVID-19 cases, so we surpassed 16,000 today. The governor also announced 9 new deaths, bringing the state's death toll to 581. As of today, there have been at least 420,058 tests performed, and at least 4,726 Kentuckians have recovered from the virus. More cases continue to be reported across the mountains today. For more on COVID-19 in eastern Kentucky, go to our website, WYMT.com. As the weather continues to get warmer, some might be looking for new socially distanced ways to enjoy the outdoors. Perry County is providing a service once again that will help outdoor seekers during the pandemic. WYMT's Tommy Poole has more.
No kayak, no problem. For the 3rd straight year, anyone will be able to enjoy the beautiful river here in Hazard thanks to the Perry County Kayak Rental Service. This summer, the service will continue, just with a few extra guidelines. The county is unable to transport anybody due to the COVID-19 pandemic. In order to rent the kayak, you must provide transportation to downtown Hazard, where the boat ramp is, and then additional transportation at the Perry County Park.
Right now we're going to be opening Thursday through Saturday, 9 to 4, and 4 is not the last time you can be on the water. 4 is the last time that we're launching boats. Every boat rental is for up to 4 hours.
So those hours will start 1 week from today. However, you can still rent out kayaks this weekend for the holiday weekend. Starting on Saturday with the Freedom Float, you can rent a kayak to partake in that event, which starts at 2 p.m. And then the service will also be available and open on Sunday. Reporting in Hazard, Tommy Poole, WYMT Mountain News.
Perry County Kayak Rentals has 4 employees this year. They will be wiping down the equipment after each use, along with other precautions. It is going to be a much different Independence Day for many, and COVID-19 means thousands of people who typically visit a historic small town in central Kentucky may have other plans. The small town of Midway had to cancel their big 4th of July festival this year. WYMT's Phil Pendleton spoke to some business owners and the town's mayor about the impact.
Like the train that cuts through the middle of town, COVID-19 made a deep cut in the middle of this small town psyche.
It was sad because, it's usually full of cars. You can't find a parking spot. And it was like a ghost town.
Nearly every business in the town that's only a few blocks long was shut down for months. Reopening brought some back, but it's still not the same.
It's kind of heartbreaking, really.
Ken Glass runs the local pharmacy that's also a soda fountain and understands the health concerns, but on the other hand says COVID has hurt in other ways.
You're talking about people's livelihood, and you're talking about communities that need to spend time together. And, there is some health value to that too.
Midway is known for its history, but current times bring annual festivals, including a July 4th event that had to be canceled.
Oh, it would be bustling in a normal time. We generally have a packed downtown, people dining, people shopping, people walking around.
The little town is still a busy place this Thursday before the 4th. Just not as busy as it would have been had this been a normal year.
We get hundreds of thousands of visitors a year. In the summer months, we get tens of thousands. On any given night, there's hundreds of people in downtown Midway.
I feel like the traffic on Fridays and Saturdays hasn't really declined so much since people are driving to destinations instead of flying, and they're probably staying closer to home, so they're more apt to explore.
Midway's mayor says the town folk are resilient and hope they can bounce back from all of this. In Woodford County, Phil Pendleton, WYMT Mountain News.
Midway's mayor says the town gave a $50 voucher to every resident to spend at local businesses. They are working on a grant program paid for by the CARES Act to help make up for losses during the shutdown.
Well, we saw an abundant amount of sunshine today, and we finally are on a dry stretch heading into the holiday weekend. We'll take you up, though, to the cameras where it's looking pretty nice out there. Looking over into our UVA WISE camera, seeing that mixture of sun and clouds throughout the day, but overall, we still have seen those mostly sunny skies. Looking outside into downtown Whitesburg, 85 degrees, feeling like 85 over there, so not too humid. Dew points in the lower 60s, but some spots are a little bit more on that muggy side. But for Whitesburg, you guys looking pretty good. Just a little bit hot out there, not too humid, especially compared to the humidity we're going to see heading into the weekend. Most of us into about those mid to upper 80s, 87 down into London and Monticello, cooler 79 in Wise, 86 up into Prestonsburg and Moorhead, 85 down into Harlan. Like I said, some of us in the low to mid 60s for those dew points, so kind of getting into that sticky to uncomfortable category, so not too bad. And if you're into about the mid to upper 50s, kind of comfortable out there. So really just hot, not too humid yet, but we're going to see that humidity increase heading into the next couple of days. So we will see more sunshine heading into the weekend. Hot temperatures also continue, especially by the time we get into the 4th of July weekend. And yeah, we got a few rain chances on that 7-day forecast as well. I'll have more on that coming up in a little bit.
All right, Paige, thank you. Longtime television personality and newscaster Hugh Downs died yesterday. His family says he died at his home in Scottsdale, Arizona. Downs' career began in television's early years and included long-running stints as host of Today and 2020, as well as more lighthearted programs such as the game show Concentration. He might be best remembered for co-anchoring 2020 on ABC with Barbara Walters for many years. Hugh Downs was 99. In Laurel County, police are investigating after a body was found in a park. The body was found last night at Levi Jackson Wilderness Road Park in a camping area above the amphitheater. London police say the victim is a man, but have not released any other information. Officers say it is not clear how he died. Police say his body has been sent to the state medical examiner's office for an autopsy. A mural of Brianna Taylor will be painted in the historically black neighborhood in Annapolis, Maryland. Artists and volunteers will paint a 7,000 square foot mural on Saturday. Taylor was shot and killed by police in her Louisville apartment in March. She was sleeping when officers executed a no-knock warrant. Her death sparked protests and calls for the officers involved to be arrested and charged. The project is in collaboration with the African American History and Culture Museum. Top intelligence officials traveled to Capitol Hill to discuss reports that Russia offered bounties to kill U.S. soldiers overseas. One day after President Trump called those reports a hoax. CBS's Skylar Henry has the latest.
The Director of National Intelligence, John Ratcliffe, and other Trump administration officials briefed top-ranking lawmakers on intelligence that Russia offered bounties to the Taliban to kill U.S. troops in Afghanistan. A senior Afghan official confirms to CBS News the Russians did offer bounties and that they, quote, achieved some of their goals and keep trying.
I think it's a hoax by the newspapers and the Democrats.
President Trump has dismissed the intelligence data, and the White House maintains that he was not informed verbally, though the report was contained in a written briefing.
The president should have been briefed. This is of the highest priority.
After being briefed by Trump administration officials, top congressional Democrats said in a statement, any reports of threats against our troops must be pursued relentlessly, with leaders going on to criticize President Trump's handling of the intelligence.
We expect the President of the United States to give them that same force protection, that same priority. And we are disappointed that that has not happened.
The Taliban continues to deny the reports, and Russia is pushing back after Secretary of State Mike Pompeo accused the country of selling weapons to the Taliban.
The Russians have been selling small arms that put Americans at risk there for 10 years. We've objected to it.
The Kremlin says it has only supplied arms to the legitimate Afghan government. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
The White House says the president was not verbally briefed because various intelligence agencies disagreed on the reports. But national security officials have relayed the threat to U.S. and coalition forces, saying they take all potential threats against U.S. military personnel seriously. Coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, a close confidant of suspected sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein was arrested this morning in New Hampshire.
And the hot and humid temperatures continue, but when do those rain chances return? I'll have that answer coming up.